Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast, possibly the last one of the year, depending how we do for time and when we're available. Obviously around Christmas, really busy time of year. So this may be the last one of the year. We'll see. We might be able to squeeze another one in. Really hoping we can get Lee back on for one more before the end of the year. But for now, it's just me and Luke as usual. How's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. It's definitely a lot better anyway.
Well, yeah.
I know I'm wearing the colours of Chelsea. I look like I'm a Chelsea
you look like a Chelsea coach, mate. You do, yeah.
Yeah, I look like Ancelotti or something today. But, yeah, mate, forgot what that felt like, mate, on Saturday.
Yeah.
What it felt like to win.
What a turnaround, mate. Like you say, yeah, just such a boost. And I said we would pull off an upset. I said it. I need to start.
You're quite good at calling them.
I need to start backing them. Don't want to jinx them. But yeah, no, fantastic to get the win. Deserved as well. Well deserved.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a stat on Match of the Day, weren't there, about the running. Like the most runs we've done this year have been in the 4 games that David Moyes has been in charge. So it just says a lot. That's benchmark. That's the bare minimum we want. I'm telling you now, if you see players running around, that at least gives you, do you know what, these boys actually care. Yeah. Even if it's an illusion that they care, you at least think, yeah, they're going to run around for me for an hour and a half.
100%, mate. I agree completely. Great to see. There's still a lot of people that are still writing off Moyes. I think he is turning us around. He is. You know, you can't say that you haven't seen us be better. You can't say we haven't been more organised. We've been fitter. We've been working harder under him, because we have.
Organisation defensively as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see. It really is great to see. And I'll say again, you know, when Moyes was appointed, it wasn't the manager that I wanted to see come in.
No.
I wasn't enthusiastic or excited about it, but I said I'm prepared to give him a chance. And I am giving a chance, and I'm glad to see that he looks like he might be just turning us around. And if we can carry on this upward curve, I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right come the end of the season. Yeah.
No, making little improvements, mate. Like you say, we even said, didn't we, on the show, when he first got appointed, we were never going to get that Pardew boom effect. It was always going to be a slow process, but it's certainly effective at the minute. Like, we've still got a lot of work to do. Listen, we could still go down. Definitely could still go down. But
of course.
Looks like the guy's got bottle as well. Not afraid to drop your names, supposed names, you know, Mark Nobles, Joe Arts. And so, yeah, for me, and like I say, it's a game plan. We've actually got a game plan.
And it's, what's interesting as well is, like you say, mate, you're right. And we said it, that we're not going to get that immediate bounce from the likes of a Pardew, but assuming he does well, long-term strategy, it could work out really well in the long run. Do you know what I mean? You see,
it does. I hope it does.
100% I hope it does. You see what he did for Everton, you know. Let's hope that he can do that here.
Yeah. So on Chelsea, mate, performances. Let's start with a goal. Fantastic goal. Took it really well. Really happy for Arnie. You know, he's had a lot of critics, and rightly so, in some extent. You know, the red card, early doors, obviously the poor performance against Brighton. You know, he's rightly had some critics, but great goal. Like the passing and movement was fantastic, and a lovely finish. Yeah, no, brilliant.
Really well taken, and showing what he's capable of. You know, showing that he can do it. It was good to see, really good to see, and he's been fantastic the last few games. Really, since Moyes come in, he's probably been our most improved player. He's been fantastic,
and he's certainly got the technical ability. He's certainly got it, but like you say, he's another one. It could be a problem position of where do you play him. I think that's eventually, but definitely really good. Winston Reid, fantastic, you know, proper leader, blocking the shots. Adrian, fantastic as well, pulled off a couple of great saves. But for me personally, mate, man of the match, Masuaku, unbelievable. The footwork is just disgusting. It really is disgusting what he can do with football.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this before. You say it every week, mate. You text me every week saying like the feet are just fantastic, and he's got such quick feet. And it seems to be a position that's suiting him really well. Left back, he wasn't a standout. Left wing, there was issues, but this left wing back position seems to be the sweet spot for him. Because he's got that cover in defence,
and he can burst from deep.
And exactly that, mate.
Deep,
he can
burst
exactly that. And I think that's his. I think we found his best position, and like you say, it's been brilliant. I have to say as well, Cresswell really surprised me,
mate. I was just going to move on to him actually. At left centre back, I said I liked him there at Man City game, and I've got to say he looks better there.
It's the most tackles I've seen him making about a year.
Yeah, maybe it's because he doesn't have to do, He hasn't got to do so much of the running up. Obviously, he still commits himself every now and then, but I don't know. He looks a lot better there. Definitely looks a lot better at left centre back.
Yeah.
Zabaleta fantastic. Martin Obo had a good game. Antonio run his socks off. He was shattered, absolutely shattered at the end. Like he was just giving the ball away in the end. He couldn't even pass.
Yeah, it's a weird one. A lot of people saying he should have come off sooner, but I actually, like, Moyes come out afterwards, and I actually like the clip that I seen from him, and he basically said, "I am not having my centre forward tell me he wants to come off after 65 minutes," and that's good. I want to see that. You don't want that. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's obviously limits, and you don't want to run the guy into the ground and get him injured. But at the same time, he needs to build up that match fitness, and you can't have your players dictating when they're going to come off. That's not their job. That's the manager's job. So it's good. I was glad to see that as well.
Yeah, like I say, it looks like Moyes has got a lot of bottle, and you know what I mean. He ain't going in there as I'm your mate and all that. He's going in there to do a job, and that is what it is. It's a job.
Yeah, I will say as well though. Sorry, just on Antonio still, he done all the running, and his running was fantastic, but technically he is shocking.
His touches
technically he's terrible. Which is a weird one going forward. I'm not sure how you get the best out of him. But yeah, it was, everyone seems to, even when Sacco came on, he looked a happier player. I think it's probably known he didn't get on with Bilic. Bilic obviously had players that he fell out with.
Moisey could have easily brought Andy Carroll on in that game. Because I was actually frightened that he was going to, because I thought, if you bring Andy Carroll on, we're just going to be lumping it, and it's just going to keep coming back. So I was quite happy that he didn't bring Carroll on.
Yeah, 100%. Also, and I was talking about this, I said this, I think it was last week. I said I'd be amazed if Hart and Carroll don't have must play when fit clauses in their contract. Well, that's obviously out the window now, which is great to know. It's good to know that, because you don't want those kind of clauses. I have to say I'm very surprised. Very, very surprised, particularly Joe Hart. But no, it's good to see. And obviously, again, Moyes coming out and saying, apparently he came out and he said West Ham staying up is more important than Joe Hart's international ambitions.
Yeah,
and he's right.
That's a good subject to move on to, mate. Joe Hart. Like I say, mate, he showed the balls to keep Adrian in there, and he's done a great job, Adrian, for me. And yeah, I don't know. The defence seems a bit more settled with him there. And it's Match of the Day pundit said it's harsh to judge the goalkeeper when you've got a poor defence, and that is what Joe obviously has had his West Ham career so far. But something had to change him. Now Adrian's a starter for me.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Adrian's a great goalkeeper. We've always said it on this show. We've always said it. Adrian's a great goalkeeper. And, I'm pretty sure we said at the time, Joe Hart's not really an upgrade. They're pretty much on a similar level. And 100%, he deserves to keep his spot. 100%. He's earned it. I imagine Hart will come back in for the cup game. And he'll give him a chance to sort of, but it's good. It's give him a kick up the arse to say, right, listen, if you want to play, you want to get into the England team, you're going to have to start playing well. It's not a guarantee. And it's good to see that. But yeah, 100% for me, like you say, mate, Adrian should keep his place.
Like you say, mate, with the World Cup as well, that could be hard. If he don't manage to get himself back in, that could, his World Cup spot could be a threat. My biggest fear in terms of Adrian going forward, this is what a typical West Ham manager would do. If we get absolutely battered in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, say 5-0 happens, which could happen, tomorrow night or tonight, depending on when you're watching this podcast, will he just go, oh yeah, heart back in there?
It's a difficult one, and it's a difficult one of how he manages it, because he has got two good goalkeepers. Let's say as well, Joe Hart's not a poor goalkeeper.
No.
He's got his issues, but he's not a bad keeper. And he has got to try and balance it. I don't know, mate. It'd be interesting to see how he manages it and what he does. I was just about to say, I don't think we'll get another Tonkin this season, but then we got turned over by Everton, so who knows, really?
Yeah. Moving on, mate. The next game, depending on when you're watching this podcast, is either tomorrow or tonight. Arsenal. Last year, we got a Tonkin 5-1. If you remember the Sanchez step over goal where he absolutely humiliated him.
Sit down.
And another Tonkin at their ground was 3-0 as well. They've got the ability to destroy you in about 5 minutes if they're on it.
Yeah.
And that's the key word there, if they're on it. They're currently sitting 5th. You know, they're having a mixed season, aren't they? Wasn't the greatest result for them the weekend against Southampton. I'm just checking the result. Yeah, 1-1 against Southampton. But Giroud is a danger man, a man that's linked with us.
Did you see any of the highlights of that game?
No, I believe that Arsenal were quite lucky, weren't they?
They were incredibly lucky. Southampton absolutely battered them. Battered them. And they scored, obviously, right at the death. If they turn up and play like that against us, we'll beat them.
Yeah.
We'll beat them. I really believe that.
I fancy us. I do fancy us. But looking at the danger men, you know, who's who? Lacazette, Giroud, Sanchez. Theo Walcott will... I know he hasn't been getting games, but I bet you he plays. I bet you he plays tomorrow night and scores. It wouldn't surprise me if Jack Wilshere plays and scores against us as well, and then comes to us in January. But you know, they've got players, they've got the players that are dangerous and can cause us all sorts of trouble. But as much as Andy Carroll can be a bit of a poison chalice for us sometimes, he does like scoring against Arsenal, and it's the sort of game I would put him in.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. I don't know. It depends what sort of team we put out, really, and what sort of team they put out as well. Wenger's already said they've got a few players missing. I don't know. It's difficult. I feel like we're going to... Again, I've said many times I'm optimistic by nature, but I really do. I feel like we're going to win this game. I really do. I think we'll win.
I do. Saying that though, if it was a draw, you would have took 4 points out of these 3 games, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, like, 100%, big time.
I would have took 3. To be fair, I would have took 3. That means we would have got a win, which we've got. But you know, results have been sort of going our way a little bit, haven't they? We're sort of sticking with the pack. Teams are starting to drop off now. Newcastle's are really struggling at the minute. West Brom looked terrible. Stoke looked terrible. So, you know, if we can keep ourselves in touching distance, I think we'll be all right this year.
Yeah.
I do. Obviously, the weekend, because where there won't be a podcast before then, we'll talk about it. Stoke game, mate, like I just mentioned, on a bit of a struggle at the minute. Just looking at last season's results, 2 draws, 1-1 at the London Stadium and 0-0 at their ground. And going back and back and back, there's a lot of 1-1s, 0-0s, 2-2s, 1-1s, 0-0s, 2-2s. So probably a draw, that one.
Yeah, that's probably a decent shout, to be honest, mate. It's one of them things though. We'll beat Chelsea. You know, we could turn up and beat Arsenal, and then we'll probably get turned over by Stoke. I don't know. It's just West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah, it is West Ham. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I say, it'd be interesting to see what he does with the team, what he does with the squad, whether he'll decide to rest players for that game. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I hope he doesn't. But then I know you are in danger of obviously burning the players out. It's difficult.
Yeah, man, definitely. Obviously, just looking at their top goal scorers, Peter Crouch, Juve, and obviously one of my favourite players, actually, sort of outside the top 8 teams. Shaqiri, fantastic player, really fantastic player. He's going to be dangerous for us. Maybe Arnautovic might really be up for that game as well. Looking at sort of ex-players playing against their teams, he'll definitely want to score. He will 100% want to score in that game. I think draw though. I think draw written all over that. I do want to quickly look at some of the games, just in case we don't do another podcast between now and the end of the season. Obviously,
end
after
of the season.
Game, mate, huh?
End of the season.
Yeah. End of the season. End of the year. Obviously after that, mate. Because, like I say, just in case we don't do it, there definitely won't be a podcast next week, so we can definitely talk about this game. Cup game, mate. Quarter-final of the Carabao Cup. I really do want us to go for it. I really do. Because you're in the semi-final if you win that, you know. And we've been there a couple of times in the last couple of years, semi-finals, you know. Avram Grant took the semi-final.
Yeah.
Allardyce took the semi-final when we lost 9-0 against Man City. But, you know, maybe this time.
It's really difficult because obviously, you know, number one priority for the club is going to be to stay up. But I don't know, if you're David Moyes and you're here for 6 months, maybe that's it. Can you imagine the desire that he would have to give us a cup in that time? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of personal motivation for him. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see us go on. More than anything, I'd love to see us go on and get some silverware, because we ain't seen any in our lifetime. I'd love to see it, but I don't know. I think they'll probably rest a lot of players. I think we'll see a lot of kids play. I think it'll be a very changed team. I'm
just going to mention a couple more games, just in case we don't get a podcast in between now and the end of the year. After that, mate, a couple of, can you say easy? We've got Newcastle and Bournemouth will be our last game of the year. Newcastle, you fancy us now. At this current moment, you'd fancy us, wouldn't you? Because they've been poor. I know they tucked us in 3-0 up there, but they seem to have been found out a little bit by now.
Yeah, again, it's just so difficult to predict anything at the minute. It really is. It's just so difficult to predict. The only thing that I can say is I hope that by the end of December, I hope going into the new year, you know, we're out of the bottom three. That's you know, and there's possibly a few points gap. That's really my aim. That's my aim for the rest of the games. As far as individual games, whether we're going to win or not, I just don't know. You just don't know at the minute.
You don't. Premier League, there's no easy game anymore.
No.
You don't turn up. Yeah, if you're what they say, the old saying, isn't it? If you're at 90%, that extra 10%, the other team will kill you.
Yeah.
So that's Arsenal, Stoke, and the other games. You mentioned before we went live, mate, Sacco. A couple of rumours floating around about Sacco to Cardiff.
Yeah, see today. For 12 million, I think it was. Whether there's anything in it or not, I don't know. I also read not that long ago that he's in his last year of his contract. If that's true, we're not getting anywhere near £10 million for him. We won't get anything for him because he'll go in a free at the end of the year. I'm not sure if depending on what he has got left. To be fair, 12 million in today's game.
It's good money.
It's not a lot of money for a striker like Sacco, because as much as I don't like him, as much as I can't stand him, and I'll be happy to see him go, he is a good player. Let's see, Diafra Sacco, I'm not sure where you'd see his contract on transfer market. There you go. Contracted until the 30th of the 6th, 2018. So he is in his last year. That's interesting. Well, if he's in his last year, then I can't see anyone coming in for him for any kind of money, because why would you go on a free? But if we did, especially now knowing that, if we did manage to sell him for that kind of money, that would be incredible business. Yeah,
definitely, mate. Before we move on to the other stuff, just a couple of, like I said, mate, ins. We didn't really touch on it much. Giroud, obviously, linked. what a signing he would be.
See,
what a signing he would be.
We've been linked with all these players. We're linked with likes of Giroud, likes of Walcott. I see us linked with again. Why would they come to West Ham fighting relegation? Why?
World Cup year, mate. World Cup year.
I just cannot see it happening. I can't. I can't
see it. I can't see it. But like I say, the Giroud rumours, obviously, it could be a bit fabricated. The paper rumours. Doesn't want to move out of London, and it looks like he's looking for a quick fix loan, just to get some football. I
can't see it. I can't see it. I'd like to be wrong, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. I can't see any good Premier League players coming to West Ham in this window, because I don't know why they would. And again, how much money is there going to be? Do we have to sell to buy? You know, if Sacco goes, that might be a bit of money there. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't see it. I can't. I'd like to be wrong, but I don't know. I think that someone like Wilshere on loan, there's a lot more.
I hope the Cavallo deal comes through as well.
Yeah, that I'd love to see. Assuming we can pull out the money for it. Again, just weird that we made that statement last week if it wasn't going to happen.
Well, he's out of contract as well, isn't he? When he out of contract in the summer, so we might be able to get him for 25 mil. If he's out of contract, I'm sure he was out of contract. Sure that was part of it. So his price is going to have dropped, isn't it? If that is the case. Another few things, mate, floating around. You wanted to talk about Sullivan, obviously. Likes to open his mouth again. Jay did a really good video on this, Hammer and Talk. Go check it out. It was a real arrogant interview, weren't it?
It was a joke. Yeah,
it was just like, mate, it's not needed.
It wasn't needed. He basically come out and said everything good that's happened was down to me. Everything bad that's happened was down to Bilic. And whether you like Bilic or not, or whether you thought he did a good job or not, that's just rubbish. And like you say, mate, there's no need for it. It's just ego stroking from him. That's all it is. It's ego stroking. Look at me. Look how great I am.
It's self-justification, wasn't it?
100%.
Like you say, mate, starting off with the Bilic stuff, like saying about transfers and that his family begged him to
not sign.
To sack Bilic. We'll move on to the players in a minute. But obviously, one of the first things was, you should sack Bilic, and he's going on, in hindsight, maybe I should. But it's like, it's all okay saying that now, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, in my opinion, he should have sacked him in the summer.
No, he should have.
And I said that at the time. But like you say, mate, why come out and say it now? Why? What was the purpose of that? There was no need to come out and say anything. And the whole, like, it just, and the way that he was speaking about David Gold was that basically, Gold just basically just hangs around, don't really know what time of day it is anymore. Like, that's a nice thing to say about your business partner, isn't it? Like, it's just ridiculous, and it was just such a like I say, mate, just a proper ego stroking. Look at me, I'm brilliant interview, and it was just painful to read, and he just can't help himself. He just can't keep his mouth shut.
And like you say, mate, moving on, he went on to talk about current players at West Ham.
Yeah.
Current contracted players at West Ham in Snodgrass and Jose Font. Like, that comment was just ridiculous. Anyone who hasn't read it, obviously, come out and said, my kids begged me not to get Robert Snodgrass and Jose Fonte, but I went against it.
Because that's what the manager wanted, is what he said.
Yeah, basically, listen, Jose Font isn't great at the moment. He's improving. And Snodgrass has been poor for West Ham and obviously at Aston Villa now. But to say that is just ridiculous.
No, you can't. Ridiculous. To come out and say things like that against, like you say, mate, current players that are currently contracted to West Ham United is a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. Obviously, Snodgrass replied and, with a sarcastic, thanks for the support, Mr. Chairman. Font's comment I thought was brilliant. He basically just turned around and said it just shows ignorance.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect who he is, and he'll just carry on doing his best for the team. And that was a brilliant comment to make, because it's true. It does just show ignorance, and it's just a crazy thing to come out and say. And you just wonder, like, I read a really good couple of comments today, actually, and it was people saying, like, do they run their other businesses this way?
Yeah.
You know, it's just madness. Is there not someone there telling him, actually, mate, by the way, you know, you probably shouldn't say these kind of things? It's just, I don't know. It's just madness. And for a long time, they were keeping quiet and things were going quite well. But, yeah, it's just you know, with all the current anti-balled feeling,
to
at
come
the
out
moment,
of that, it's just not needed. It
just
wasn't needed.
It's just ridiculous. Poor timing. It's never a good time to come out and say things like that. You just can't. Especially when it's unjustified as well. You know, don't get me wrong. If Fonte had been playing every week and he'd been scoring own goals for fun, giving away penalties, and genuinely being an absolute liability, then I could maybe kind of understand him saying something. But he's done nothing at all to deserve it. Nothing. No. He's out injured at the minute. When he's played, he's not been amazing, but he's not been bad.
But the whole team was poor. Team was poor. It's wrong to single out one person.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm guilty of it. You know, I singled out Mark Noble a couple of times.
Yeah, but you don't run the bloody club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're not paying his wages. It's like, it's just madness. It's just absolute madness. And it was just really, you know, obviously he has got to the point now where we're just waiting for him to leave, because they're just doing more damage to the club as time goes on.
I just hope that the problem with football, as we all know, is a results thing. West Ham go and win 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row, for argument's sake. It's all forgotten, you know. But we need to be realistic. It's like, no, they need to start spending some money, or they need to go. You know, it's a bit similar to the Newcastle situation, where I don't want to end up like that, where you just don't spend money. Or it's, we haven't got any money.
Interestingly,
funny that, isn't it? Crystal Palace spending ridiculous amounts of money.
Oh yeah,
I know they're not playing great, but
their Palace as well, rebuilding part of their stadium. Looks pretty good. Building new stand. I did see as well this week the I don't know if you remember, but a while ago, what's his face? Your mate Sadiq Khan said he was doing an investigation into the deal for the Olympic Stadium. Because it was costing so much money. The reports actually come out now. I don't know if you've seen any of it at all.
Bits and bobs, yeah. I've seen bits and bobs of it.
It's worth looking at, and it's basically... The report basically says that as it is right now, the stadium's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. The mayor's office has basically taken control of apparently trying to renegotiate things. It sounds like the stadium operators thought they were going to make much more, significantly more money than they actually are.
You can't even get a sponsor. So.
Exactly, through events, through sponsorship. Apparently West Ham said, we will take on the sponsorship for a greater share. We'll find a sponsor. And they said, no, we don't need you. We can do it ourselves. Well, that worked out well, didn't it? Commercial revenue's been down. There's not been really any events or anything, again, because... they can't do it for a lot of the time because the amount of time it takes for the seating to be moved, the cost of the seating. And like I say, it's basically just come out that it is completely unsustainable. And it seems highly likely that the company in charge of running it is going to go bankrupt, basically. Not the OLDC, it's E10 or whatever they are. They are going to go bankrupt. So it looks increasingly likely now the best thing for everyone to do is to let West Ham buy the stadium on the cheap.
And do you think that is what Dave are waiting for before they sell?
100%, mate. Because
then they can just go, right, bosh, that's put like another 300 million straight on top.
Mate, I think if they get the stadium and we actually end up owning that stadium, we will be sold like that.
Yeah.
It will be like that. It really will. Because then there's actually significant assets for someone to come in and buy. And I think that's, you know, maybe that's been their plan all along. Maybe because, let's be honest, they're not idiots. They might come across it. They might come across as it in the media and stuff, but they're not stupid. And it wouldn't surprise me if they knew this was going to happen when they were securing the deal.
Yeah, if they had an inkling that this was going to go down this road.
So it'd be very, very interesting to see what happens in the next year.
I hope we do own it. I hope we do go on to own it, because then there's more. You know, if a big boy owner does come in, like a Saudi Arabian or whatever, there's a good chance then that they might, you know, gut the whole stadium out.
Make it a proper stadium, exactly.
Do it all properly, yeah. That's the dream, you know, 10, 15 years down the line. Be nice, you know, if they can do that. That's sort of it for West Ham, mate. We'll go on to a few questions, only a few this week, and then we'll do our little sort of mini roundup thing of stuff that we talk about nowadays, because people actually did like that last week. Ken Alfield, should Antonio be rested as he looks burnt out?
I mean, you don't want him getting injured or anything, you know, and you want him playing at his best. So, yeah, he's very effective for us. That's the only thing. And obviously, you want your best players playing whenever possible. So, yeah, he needs to be managed. He needs to be managed. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Jamie Gill, if you could have any three past players in their prime in our current team, who would it be and why? I'll tell you what, I'm only going to go, you as well, mate. We'll just go our era. Yeah? We're banging in Bobby Moores and Brookings and that, because it's not our era.
Oh, in their prime as well. In their prime for West Ham, or in their prime in their career?
I'll tell you what, we just go West Ham.
All right, in their prime for West Ham, okay.
Scott Parker has to go in. Has to.
That's difficult, mate, though.
Situation we're in.
Three players, right? If you think you could have Di Canio, you could have Tevez.
Yeah, Paolo's in.
You could have Payet. Yeah. Di Canio, Tevez and Payet. Can you imagine that front three? That would
Joey. Put Joey in. Prime Joey as well.
Oh, well, obviously. Like, yeah, it's difficult.
Prime Rio.
Well, Rio, that's why I asked about for us or in their career, because obviously Rio really come into his own after he left West Ham.
Yeah.
And then
as much as we hate him, a prime Frank Lampard banging in 15 goals for you.
Still wouldn't have him. I still wouldn't have him. I don't know. And even then saying that, if it is just for us, Tevez for us was great. But again, someone else who really went on and did more after we left West Ham.
Let's do it. Okay, then. So
Paolo's definitely in. Paolo's in. 100%. Paolo's in.
He's God. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, let's just do it on West Ham then. So, in terms of Tevez, like you say, mate, absolute thankful for what he did, but he went on to do magic. Let's do it on what they did in a West Ham shirt in our sort of era. So I'm talking 92 to now.
Well, for me, two have to be in there, and that's Paolo. And as much as everyone hates him, it's Payet. He has to be in there because he's one of the best players that's ever played for West Ham.
He's the closest to Paolo since Paolo.
Yeah, he's easily one of the best.
Sinclair as well. Trevor Sinclair.
It's
goal scoring winger.
Yeah. It's that. All right. So if we're saying Paolo, we're saying Payet. Who else are we going to have in there? Oh, I know Adrian's amazing, but what about if you brought back Ludo, mate?
Yeah.
Put Ludo in.
Xhaka, mate. Xhaka was a great goalkeeper.
What about any? Are there any standout? Because our defence hasn't been great. Any standout defenders for you that could come in?
I did like Igor Stimac. I was a big fan of Stimac when he used to beat us. Stevie Potts, Julian Dix. If you're thinking that sort of era. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to do just three.
Just three is difficult. In midfield, obviously, you've got Joey, Parker.
Carrick, Lampard, Foe. You know, he was good for us. I'm trying to think left wings. Is there any?
Like say, Trev.
Trev was a fantastic player as well. Trying to think.
That's a really, really good question, mate.
It's a really good question.
Everyone else, let us know.
To you guys,
let us know yours as well, because we probably missed loads. Let us know yours. So 3 players, and it's at their peak for West Ham, not for their peak for their career. Their peak for West Ham. Who would you put in? 3 players. Good question, mate. That's a good question.
Dean Ashton as well.
Dino, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. I don't think I can do 3. The only guarantee is Paolo. That's Paolo for me is the only guaranteed that gets in. And I'll tell you what, guys. I know some of you are a bit older, with Bobby and all that. So I am going to limit you to Premier League era only. Yeah. So that's sort of mine and Paul's when we started watching football, that's sort of from 91, 92 era when we was about 6, 7. So yeah, Premier League only. You can do Championship if you want, Matthew Everett and stuff like that in there.
I'm looking forward to
Christian Daly has to go in.
Colton Cole. How did I not say Colton Cole?
Oh God!
Sorry, Colton.
Sorry, Colton. We still want you to come on the show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's free. It's a good question. We'll have to get Lee's as well from him, and we'll get them put up in next week. Yeah. We'll let you know, or the week after, whenever.
Okay. Very good question, Jamie. Thanks for that. Mark says, here's one for you guys. What would it take to shut that a-hole Sullivan up? Pour concrete on his gob and wait till it sets. This idiot has now attacked current squad players. What is wrong with Sullivan? Nasty or just totally idiotic?
Mate, I think the only thing that will shut that man up's a coffin. It's just, I really do. It's a
shame because, and listen, I'm not a bald lover. It's a shame because we've had young Jack on and we've had young Dave on, and they're good lads.
They are. Nothing against the lads at all. Nothing, and I've seen that from a few people as well on forums. Yeah, Jack can be a bit silly sometimes. Well, not so much recently, but he can be a bit silly sometimes on Twitter. And I think Dave come out actually recently and said about, he used to support Arsenal, but since they took over his support,
there was no need for that comment as well.
Which was a silly thing to say. But they are. They're good lads. They are good lads, and it's not their fault what their dad does with a club. Do you know what I mean? No. But he just can't help himself. He can't. It's in his nature. It's in his nature to say stupid things. He just can't help himself, and it's a shame. I don't know if there's anything malicious in it. It's just ego stroking. He just needs to feed himself and to make him feel like I think you said it perfectly, mate. It was like that self-justification.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's it for West Ham. As we do now, we had a little bit in our sort of summary of any sort of sporty news that's gone on. We'll start with the Premier League, mate. Premier League sum up. It's over. Title's over in December.
Paddy Power's paid out.
Probably have.
They have. They have paid out. Yeah, they did it with Chelsea as well.
Was it 11 points clear? Is it 13 points clear? They're just a machine. It's just an absolute machine. Man United couldn't cope with them. Lukaku was really poor. I don't know whether you watched the game, mate. They're just going to be tucking teams in, and they have a knack of winning. They've 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 wins. That's what wins your titles. It's not the 4-5-0 thrashings. It's them winning at all costs. Other games, results this week. Obviously, we beat Chelsea. Just wanted to put that in again. Burnley beat Watford. Bit of a shock result. Crystal Palace 2-2. Did anyone see Jermaine Defoe's goal? What a goal that was!
The chip. Chip volley was it? Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Rumours are that after the game, Roy Hodgson come up to him and said, "Great finish, Jermaine," and he went, "Oh, really? Shame you didn't pick me for the World Cup then, innit?" Apparently, that is what was said. So good on Jermaine with that. Huddersfield won. Swansea got a rare win. Goal from Tammy Abrahams against struggling West Brom. So it wasn't actually a bad result.
I think that was actually for me, that was a good result for us because it keeps them on the same points.
So, Tottenham found a bit of form. Hello, Tottenham guys. Welcome back to our world. They won 5-1. And obviously, Leicester beat Newcastle. Cracking goal from Riyad Mahrez, if you did see that one. And obviously, the Merseyside derby was 1-1. Other football news, Champions League draw.
What a draw as well, by the way. Yeah. What a draw.
Yeah. That Real Madrid PSG is a proper, wow,
whoever wins that game will probably win the tournament.
Yeah.
Or whoever wins that tie will probably win the tournament. Yeah. Juve, Tottenham.
Yeah. Like I say, I would love to see Juve win it for GG.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
I think Tottenham will beat them. Juventus play terrible when they come to England. They never seem to turn up when they play in England. So I think Tottenham will actually knock them out. It was Liverpool,
Basel, Man City.
Liverpool, sorry.
I'll go down it, mate, just in case you can't remember it top of your head. Basel, Man City. Bank of that one, innit? Like, put that in your accumulator now. Porto, Liverpool. That's a tough little one.
That's it.
Porto, a good side. We've got some good players, Porto, this year. Bayern, Besiktas. Expect Bayern to beat them. Chelsea, Barca. Cracker.
Great tie, that. Yeah, great tie.
Chelsea ain't got a bad record against Barcelona. You know, sort of an evenly one. They've won as many as they've lost. Shakhtar, Roma. Good tie. Shakhtar, a very good side. Roma, also fantastic team. And that sort of sums up the Champions League, really. Yeah, some really exciting ties for the neutral fans. You know, that Real Madrid game is that's going to be unbelievable. You know, like. And if any of you guys do bet, I know my tip wasn't right this last weekend because Fellaini didn't even get on the bench. But I've got a tip for you for the Real Madrid PSG game when they released the odds. Both teams to score in both halves, both games as a double. Yeah, as a double. Both teams to score both halves as a double.
Interesting one.
Yeah. As a single, so just for one game, is 11-1. So as a double, I reckon you might be hitting the sort of 35, 40 to 1s there. So put that on, guys. It's worth like a couple of quid.
Good shout. Luke's betting tips. There you go.
Yeah, I might start a new show. In other news, boxing, James DeGale lost. Oh, well, he's not that good anyway. Ronnie O'Sullivan equalled the snooker titles record as well. Just thought I'd chuck that in there because I like Ronnie. But yeah, that's it really, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the show this year. You know, like I say, I hope we can do one about the 28th, maybe the 28th, because I'd love to do a little preview for the Tottenham and the West Brom game and just sort of do a little review of the whole year, really, in general for West Ham. Keep subscribing, guys. You know, check us out. We're slowly growing. You know, we might hit that 2,500 at some point in the next sort of couple of months. The winner of the shirt competition has been DM'd. So, is it you? Let us know. Until then, guys, good luck, West Ham. Keep believing, you know, things are turning around. Check out the previews, reviews. Hopefully we get Lee back for a couple of shows. We've definitely lined some guests up after Christmas again as well. Until then, come you irons, keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.